Greetings and blessings, kings and queens. My name is Shionta Jones, and I'd like to take this time to say to my best friend, my sister, my confidant, Dr. Sabrine Matawali, it has been an honor and a blessing to rock with you over the last 18 years, to be in friendship with you, to see you grow into this beautiful blossoming lotus flower is inspiring and encouraging, and it warms my heart. It brings me so much joy to now not only call you friend, but author. Maximizing Me is not only changing singles across the globe, but today I hope to impart some wisdom and knowledge as a married woman and how it's helping me. I've been asked to touch on week 14. There's a quote by Joshua Becker that reads, "The first step in crafting a life that you want is to get rid of everything you don't want." So we're going to unpack this thing from an environmental standpoint and an internal spiritual standpoint. So we all have moved sometime of our life into a new environment. No matter the space, no matter the location, we know that when we physically move, this is a shift and a change. The most powerful part about the journey for me has been the settling in process. You know, you may have packed things that you brought with you, and then you realize, I don't need this. I don't wear this. Someone else could use this, or it just may have been that season and that season's over for whatever piece of material that is. So I think it's also a very important time when you're moving into a new environment, figuring out what brings you joy, what serves you, what you're wearing, and what you're no longer using as a way to declutter your space. We just moved, and I made up in my mind, and I hope that I was encouraging to my husband that, you know, there are just some things that we don't need to bring with us. We can be of service to those in need. We know we've been through a global pandemic now in almost over a year, and there's so many people in need. So what we did was we packed those things that we weren't wearing, that we weren't using anymore. We put them in suitcases as a kind gesture, and we have donated those things to the Union Mission here in Los Angeles, which if you don't know much about the Union Mission, which is in downtown LA, you should probably look them up, but they're a very, very resourceful place for those who need shelter, need food, or need that tool to help them transition and back into the world. So that's my take on the environmental standpoint. Just ask yourself those questions and then try to release it out to someone in need. And if it's not refurbishable or you can't use it, then toss it out. It's okay. Now, just to share a little bit about myself before I get into the internal spiritual side of what this quote means to me, and I'm hoping that I can change your perspective a little bit on tools that have helped me. I'm a registered nurse, and I've worked with oncology patients now for 13 years, from ages 18 to 95 plus. And within the last 7 years, I've integrated meditation, yoga, as an approach to help them heal throughout their journey and their process, or to help them transition from life. So when I think about the quote, getting rid of everything in order to get the life that you want, I think that we have to take a step back and be aware of what no longer is serving us, what no longer feels good, what people or who do you have around you that is not really being encouraging or uplifting or even supportive during your transition to whatever that may be. So the tool of meditation really is about taking a moment of pause, even though the brain will constantly work because it's always downloading something. Even after this video, you'll be a new person, and so will I. But the idea of meditation is to be able to figure out those thoughts that are racing. Why do I have these thoughts? And then eventually start figuring out what thoughts matter most to me and how they are serving me to be in service, not just to myself, but to others. So the possibility of not being able to rid everything at once to get the life that you want is very strong. And I also want you to be reminded to be very kind to yourself before 2020, beyond 2020. We are all doing the best that we can, but I really encourage you to be patient with yourself and, give yourself a break. Give yourself a break when you feel the overwhelming stimulation of the world. That may be social media. That may be just creating your own self cocoon so that you can continue to thrive in life and continue to rid those things that you no longer want. And also the reminder of being patient. It can take you weeks, it can take you months, it could take you years, it could take you decades to craft the life that you want. And I will speak on a very personal experience. I was 9 years old when I first experienced sexual abuse. And even through my teenage years from family and friends, I would also experience emotional abuse, mental abuse. And up until I was 26 years old, I buried that deep down into my womb, and it affected me in so many ways. The relationships that I had with men, with women, my work, how I would respond. So with that, all I'm saying is that give yourself time to craft the life that you want. Give yourself time to rid the things that you don't, because with the overstimulation of the world that we're in, you may not be giving yourself the opportunity to feel all the feels. You may not have given yourself the opportunity to dig deep. You may not have given yourself the opportunity to be vulnerable and really allow those emotions to come up, whether it be rage, frustration, whether it be anger, sadness. All of these things are okay to have as long as you know the tools that will help you flip that around, if you know what I mean. So with my healing process, prior to being married, I started to really do deep breathing. And as cliche as that may be, the deep breathing not only physically helped the heart circulate oxygenated blood and the deoxygenated blood moving through my lungs and all those things, but it really helped me calm down and, again, be mindful of the triggers, the people who were around me, the environment that I was in, the senses of smells, the sounds that were around me. And I could then use the tools that I have been starting to use now consistently on a daily basis to help me come back to self. Our core center truth, it starts here. It starts right here in this heart space. And I always share in my teachings that the heart space is where, as humans, we are all having these human experiences, but the two things that we always need as human beings is the feeling of being loved and the ability to reciprocate that out to other people. So I just pray that this message serves you well and that I was able to impart some wisdom on you. And one more thing before I go, there was a great mentor of mine that I had when I was living in Florida a little while ago. And she said to me, Shionta, you just may have to be who you don't want to be in order to be who you need to be. And God knows I was living that life. But I came out on the other side. Not that I came out and I've forgotten about that. I came out now knowing the tools that I need to help me continue to rid those things that no longer serve me so I can have the life that I have and the life that I want. And I do give God all the praise. I give my ancestors, my elders who are always looking out for me, and to my loving husband for his support always. You guys, it's been so real and such a blessing to sit and talk with you. Sabrine, keep going, keep growing. This will touch communities beyond your state. It will touch those across the globe. And I thank each and every one of you that have supported my friend. Ashe.